So in the wake of Brexit and the Trump election, came to light that both Trump and the Leave campaign had engaged Cambridge Analytica as a firm. And Cambridge Analytica, roughly, its model is to try and take a whole lot of data points on people to assess a kind of psychological profile, including one was used explicitly or implicitly the basis upon which people trust, why they trust, who, what their fears are, and then sell to these campaigns ways to manipulate them on the basis of those psychological profiles. And this seems to speak directly to a tearing away of this relationship between trust and trustworthiness, a direct, deliberate, very detailed manipulation. What response, if any, can we have, whether directly or intermediarily, to such a phenomenon?
I think that is, in a way, the problem I began with. Why has the study of trust shifted in the direction of looking at people's generic attitudes? And I say generic attitudes quite deliberately because these don't have to be evidence-based attitudes. This is the charm of responding to a poll. How do you feel about whatever it was? The doctor you see who treated you, rate him on or her on 1 to 5, or maybe it's 1 to 10, and you can rank anything, and then of course you can do shock horror headlines. But what you have to think about is, what are these polls actually for? Who's commissioning them and paying for them? And they're not very expensive, but they're not nothing either. What are they for? They are not aiming, as the more academic end of the polling industry will tell you, at giving an accurate view of public trust levels in whatever it is. On the contrary, the polls are assumed not to provide an accurate guide to how people will place and refuse trust, but to give third parties an indication of where they will have leverage in their campaigns, whether it's a marketing campaign or political campaign. And so that to me is, so to speak, very fundamental to why I think we should be always bearing trustworthiness in mind and not allow people to get away with the idea that studying trust in abstraction from trustworthiness is valuable. It is valuable, but it's valuable for instrumental purposes. And I saw a rather interesting comment by some more academic posters the other day who pointed out that in the French election, after all, the exit polls were accurate. Well, no wonder, because the exit polls are done after people have cast their vote, and nobody has an interest in trying to use them to manipulate the way people then will vote. But the polls that are done 3 weeks before an election are done for one purpose only, which is to use the jargon of the campaign organizers to identify which offers will appeal to which demographics so that they will vote in a different way. So I do not think we should be surprised that the polls aren't accurate, because the polls are always of a time ago before the manipulation took place, regardless of other things that might change attitudes. And with what we think about the British election, that's probably quite relevant.